What's the difference between system and goals? It is a distinction I first learned from Scott Adams, the cartoonist behind Dilbert Comet. Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the process that lead to those results. If you are if you're a coach, your goal might be to win a championship. Your system is the way you recruit players, manage your assistant coaches, and conduct practice. If you are an entrepreneur, your goal might be to build $1 million business. Your system is how you test product ideas, hire employees, and run marketing campaigns. If you are a musician, your goal might be to play a new piece. Your system is how often you practice, how you break down and tackle difficult measures, and your method for receiving feedback from your instructor. Now, for the interesting question, if you completely ignore your goals and focus only on your system, would you still succeed? For example, if you were a basketball coach and you ignore your goal to win a championship and focus only on what your team does at practice each day, would you still get results? I think you would. The goal in any sport is to finish with the best score. But it would be ridiculous to spend the whole game starting at the scoreboard. The only way to actually win is to get better each day. In the words of three-time Super Bowl winner Bill Walsh, the score takes care of itself. The same is true for other areas of life. If you want better results, then forget about setting goals. Focus on your system instead. What do I mean by this? Are goals completely useless? Of course not. Goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are best for making progress. A handful of problems arise when you spend too much time thinking about your goals and not enough time designing your system. Problem 1: winners and losers have the same goals. Goal setting suffers from a various case of survivorship bias. We concentrate on the people who end up winning, the survivors, and the mistakenly assume that ambition goals lead to their success while overlooking all of the people who had the same subjective but didn't succeed. Every Olympian wants to win a gold medal. Every candidate wants to get the job. And if successful and unsuccessful people share the same goals, then the goals cannot be what differentiate the winners from the loser. It wasn't the goals of winning the Tour de France that propelled the British cyclists to the top of the sport. Presumably, they had wanted to win the race every year before. Just like every other professional team, the goal had always been there. It was only when they implemented a system of continuous small improvement that they achieve different outcomes. Problem 2: achieving a goal is only a momentary change. Imagine you have a messy room and you set a goal to clean it. If you summon the energy to tidy up, when you will have a clean room for now. But if you maintain the same sloppy pack right habits that leads to a messy room is the first place, soon you will looking at a new pile of clutter and hoping for another burst of motivation. You are left chasing the same outcome because you never changed the system behind it. You treated a symptom without addressing the same. Achieving a goal only changes your life for the moment. That's the counterintuitive things about improvement. We think we need to change our results, but the results are not the problem, but we really need to change our the system that caused those results. When you solve problems at the result level, you only solve them temporarily. In order to improve for good, you need to solve problem at the system level Fix the input and output will fix themselves. Problem 3. Goals restrict your happiness. The implicit assumption behind any goal is this: once I reach my goal, then I'll be happy. The problem with a goal first mentality is that you are continually putting happiness off until the next milestone. I've slipped into this trap so many times I've lost count. For years, happiness was always something for my future self to enjoy. I promised myself that once I gained 20 pounds of muscles or after my business was featured in the New York Times, then I could finally relax. Furthermore, goals create an ether or conflict. Either you achieve your goal or are successful, or you fail and you are a disappointment. You mentally box yourself into a narrow versions of happiness. This is misguided. It is unlikely that your actual path through life will match the exact journey you had in mind. When you set out, it makes no sense to restrict your satisfaction to one scenario when there are many paths to success. A system first mentality provides the antidote. When you fall in love with the process rather than product, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. You can be satisfied any time your system is running, and a system can be successful in many different forms, not just the one you first envision. Problem 4. Goals are at odds with long term progress. Finally, a goal oriented mindset can create a yo yo effect. Many runners work hard for months, but as soon as they cross the finish line, they stop training. The race is no longer there to motivate them. When all of your hard work is focused on a particular goal, what is left to push you forward? After you achieve it, this is why many people find themselves reverting to their old habit after accomplishing a goal. The purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building system is to continue playing the game. True long-term thinking is goal-less thinking. It's not about any single accomplishment. It is about the cycle of endless refinement and continuous improvement. Ultimately, it is true commitment to the process that will determine your progress. A system of atomic habit. If you're having trouble changing your habit, the problem isn't you. The problem is your system. Bad habit repeats themselves again and again, not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. Focusing on the overall system rather than a single goal is one of the core themes of this book. It also one of the deeper meaning behind the word atomic. By now you probably realize that an atomic habit refers to a tiny change, a marginal gain, a one person improvement. By atomic habits are not just any old habit, however small. They are little habits that are part of a larger system, just as atoms are the building block of the molecule. Atomic habits are the building block of remarkable results. Habits are like the atoms of our life. Each one is fundamental unit that contributes to our overall improvement. At first, these tiny routines seems insignificant, but soon they build on each other and fuel bigger wins that multiply to a degree that far outweighs the cost of their initial investment. They are both small and mighty. This is the meaning of the phrase atomic habit, a regular practice or routine that is not only small and easy to do, but also the source of incredibly power, a component of the system of compound growth. Chapter summary. Habits are the compound of a self improvement. Getting 1% better every day counts for a lot in the long run. Habits are double edged sword. They can work for you or against you, which is why understanding the detail is essential. Small changes often appear to make a difference until you cross a critical threshold. The most powerful outcomes of any compounding process are delayed. You need to be patient. An atomic habit is a little habit that is a part of a larger system, just as atoms are the building blocks of molecule. Atomic habits are the building block of remarkable result. If you want better results, then forget about setting goals. Focus on your system instead. You do not rise the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your system. How your habits shape your identity and vice versa. Why is it so easy to repeat bad habits and so hard to form a good ones? Few things can have a more powerful impact on our life than improving our daily habits, and yet it is likely that this time next year you will be doing the same thing rather than something better. It often feels difficult to keep good habits going for more than a few days, even with sincere efforts and occasional bursts of motivation. Habits like exercise, meditation, journaling, and cooking are reasonable for a day or two and then become a hassle. However, once your habits are established, they seem to stick around forever, especially the unwanted ones, despite our best intention. Unhealthy habits like eating junk food, watching too much television, procrastinating, smoking can feel impossible to break. Changing our habits is challenging for two reasons. We try to change the wrong things and we try to change our habits in the wrong way. In this chapter, I'll address the first point. In the chapter that follow, I'll answer the second. Our first mistake is that we try to change the wrong things. To understand what I mean, consider that there are three levels at which change can occur. You can imagine them like the layers of an onion. Three layers of behavior change: outcome, progress, identity. Figure 3, there are three levels, three layers of behavior change: a change in your outcome, a change in your process, a change in your identity. The first layer is changing your outcome. This level is concerned with changing your result, losing weight, publishing a book, winning a championship. Most of the goals you set are associated with this level of change. The second layer is changing your process. This level is concerned with changing your habits and system, implementing a new routines at the gym, decluttering your desk for better workflow, developing a meditation practice. Most of the habits you build are associated with this level. The third and deepest layer is changing your identity. This level is concerned with changing your beliefs, your worldview, your self image, your judgment about yourself and others. Most of the benefit beliefs, assumptions, and bias you hold are associated with this level. Outcomes are about what you get, processes are about what you do. Identity is about what you believe when it comes to building that loss. When it comes to building a system of 1% improvement, the problem is not that one level is better or worse that and than another. All levels of change are useful in their own way. The problem is the direction of change. Many people begins the process of changing their habits by focusing on what they want to achieve. This leads us to outcome based habit. The alternative is to build identity based habits. With this approach, we stand by focusing on how we wish to become. Outcome based habit 1, 2, 3. Identity based habit 1, 2, 3. Figure 4, with outcome based habit, the focus is on what you want to achieve. With identity based habit, the focus is on who you wish to become. Imagine two people resisting a cigarette when offered a smoke. The first person say, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." It sounds like a reasonable response. But this person is still believe they are a smoker who is trying to be something else. They are hoping their behavior will change while carrying around the same belief. The second person declines by saying, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." It's a small difference, but this statement signals a shift in identity. Smoking was part of their former life, not their current one. They no longer identify as someone who smokes. Most people don't even consider identity change when they set out to improve. They just think, "I want to be a skinny outcome, and if I stick to this diet, and then I'll be skinny process." They set goals and determines the action they should take to achieve those goals without considering the belief that drive their actions. They never shift the way they look at themselves, and they don't realize that their old identity can sabotage their new plans for change.